Hello, Victor Vogel here. I'm at my favorite place, a Brighton Coffee House shop. And, just wanted to take a moment and provide some opinions on something. So I'm old enough to remember when the news departments were operating at a loss for major media outlets like CBS, ABC, and NBC. It wasn't like today where you have 24-hour news coverage and commercials are rampant throughout all your newscasts. Now we have cable news networks that are bringing you violent activity within minutes of it happening, graphically displaying events, in some cases in real time. You know, early in my life, you had two newscasts. One was in the morning and one was in the evening. They both were about 30 minutes long. News programs in those days did not generate a profit. In fact, they were listed as a loss to the network. Still, news media was respected for their unbiased, hard-hitting coverage. They were not burdened by the need to make a profit. Their measure of success was honest and important news that people appreciated. They were considered a public service, so to speak. In those days, network news programs didn't have a lot of time and could not afford 2 hours on one news story, even on a special report. When you cover a mass shooting with a video and audio in real time, you expose people to the same types of pressures that soldiers endure in combat. No one should be surprised at the increase in PTSD in civilians, especially kids during impressionable ages. When news coverage was minimal and was operating at a loss within major networks, news was more unbiased. You had to pare down what you presented to the public. This, combined with stiffer restrictions about what could be said and watched, took a lot of realism out of an event like a mass shooting. Now, you may say people have the right to know exactly what is happening, but that approach is a two-edged sword. They may have the right to know, but with that comes the reality that causes depression and fear and can sow the seeds of hatred and divide. Now, I'm not saying we should restrict media, quite the opposite, in fact. However, I don't feel the need for cable news networks to broadcast mass shooting video over and over for hours upon hours because they have to fill time and generate more revenue. It is at this point free speech is overcome by greed. I believe media organizations need to reassess their vision and mission and ask whether their activities are fulfilling the vision and mission statements, or whether news outlets have simply jumped on the capitalistic bandwagon and simply are concerned about ratings and revenue at the expense of America and the world's mental health. I find it hard to believe two mass shootings within 24 hours were disconnected totally. I firmly believe constant media coverage impacts some mass shooters who have been considering a mass shooting. It may be an unintended effect media has on someone who is considering a mass shooting, but nonetheless, the zealousness to which they pursue the story may cause more harm than good. We all have some roles to play. However, the two biggest players, Congress and the media, have a much larger role when it comes to making changes that can prevent future violence. I'm Victor Vogel. Enjoy my coffee here at the Brighton Coffee House and Theater, and this is my opinion about how we ought to handle media in Congress. Have a great day.